Hello, I'm Michael Swain here after Kansas basketball's 76-74 win over West Virginia inside of Allen Fieldhouse, and that was a very ugly game. 40 turnovers total, 34 fouls called in the game, and yet KU was able to come out with the win. And they've played some ugly games this year, there's no doubt about that, but this was a different type of ugly. No rhythm in the second half. And Bill Self made a very interesting comment, I thought, post-game, where he said that if this was a second round of the NCAA tournament game where you play an 8 or 9 seed, because obviously KU is on track to be number 1 seed and potentially the number 1 overall seed, this is a game, if KU plays like this, their tournament run, national title defense will come to an end. KU did not show good control towards the end of this game. I think maybe that's what is leaving the sour taste in Bill Self's mouth. You look at what happens when DeJuan Harris goes out of the game. KU's up by 7, and all of a sudden they lose total control. 6-0 run from West Virginia makes it a lot closer of a game than probably it should have been down the stretch, where then you have to stress the final possession of the game. KU's able to get a stop. It didn't look pretty. And I think that is what is going to contribute to maybe Bill Self's feeling that way. But I think defensively for Kansas, over the last few games, you look at TCU. KU made TCU play poorly, right? We talked about that in the post-game video after that game. They didn't do that with West Virginia. West Virginia came in and played pretty well. Trey Mitchell scores 20 points. Eric Stevenson scores 20 points. That's not the type of performance you can have defensively and have success in the NCAA tournament. So I think overall it's going to give KU coaches some things to look for when they go over tape on Sunday or Monday whenever they meet again, right? Too many turnovers. The energy on the glass wasn't there for KU. Things that I think as of late they've done a really good job of, they just didn't do. And credit to Bob Huggins, right? He had his team ready to play, and I think Bill Self gave credit to them post-game for that. But big picture, I think this was a good performance from DeJuan Harris before he got hurt. We'll be interested to see what his status is like for Tuesday's game against Texas Tech. Bill Self said that Harris said he couldn't go back in the game, and we all know how tough DeJuan Harris is. So if he says that, you know he was hurting. Looking ahead, KU now can claim at least a share of the Big 12 on Tuesday. Texas lost to Baylor on the road today, and now KU has sole possession of first place in the Big 12. They can win the title, at least a share of it, on Tuesday against Texas Tech. And going into the season, if you would have said KU is going to lose all that from the national title team and have the chance to claim a share of the league with one game to play, you've been very impressed. I think it speaks to the coaching job, the work that these players have done to be in this position. So now they've got to go do it. Texas Tech is playing some pretty good basketball as of late. They lost TCU on Saturday, but they're still playing pretty well. So I think overall, this game is one you can say KU can learn from winning. And I think Bill Self will be pretty happy about that. I think he'll also be happy that they're getting very much closer to winning their first back-to-back titles since the 2017 and 2018 conference seasons, which is a super impressive feat. So obviously we've got you covered with plenty of content on fog.net, so make sure you're staying tuned.